It is another day in the world, Myrtle. Another day in the world, and I feel like I'm another day in my situation. I ain't no closer to that graveyard over there. I don't feel that way, but I am one day closer to that graveyard over there, and it makes me feel. Right now, I'm feeling a little bit sad, Myrtle. Not cause I'm inching my way over to that graveyard, but it's that and I ain't inching. It seems I ain't inching my way forward in life. You know what I mean, Myrtle? It's like I'm inching towards death, but I ain't inching towards life, and it makes me kind of sad. You know, I have I had dreams. I woke up this morning and I just felt like it's just they wasn't bad dreams, but it was just like my life. They just tell me my life is just stagnant. Like I'm just not going anywhere, and I just want to. I don't know how else to put it. It's I had this dream. Excuse me while I clear my throat. See, I just woke up a little while ago, and I still got that dust and debris in my throat from inhaling while I sleep. Because if you inhale while you sleep, you get dust and debris in your throat. So the best thing to do is not inhale while you sleep, but you can't help it. So anyways, I had this dream that I was at a big banquet hall, like a big uh, like a place where they have like masquerade balls and that kind of stuff, but it wasn't like gentlemen and ladies there. It was just all men, and there was like actors, like Brad Pitt was there, and there was a bunch of rich, powerful men and that kind of thing. And Brad Pitt was acting a little bit gay, like because the rich and powerful men found him attractive and that kind of thing. And he was kind of playing into it, a little bit. And then some other actor who looked like Hugh Jackman came over to me, and he was kind of talking to me like I was his inferior or something. I don't remember exactly what. Maybe he was flirting with me in a kind of way, like he was talking to me like I was a woman, maybe, But in that kind of like, what's that word called? Patronizing? No, it ain't right. Sexist, misogynist, maybe something along those lines. Like, hey, baby, get your pretty ass over here, kind of thing. That kind of thing, He didn't say get your ass over here. I don't remember what he said exactly. But I told him to shut it. That's what I said to him. I said, shut it. And every man in that place turned around and looked at me like I had just shot somebody to death. And they didn't say nothing, but I could tell what they was thinking is, when are you gonna take it like a woman? Your time is gonna come, little fella. Your time is gonna come, and you are gonna take it like a woman. And I woke up and I just felt like, has that been my problem my entire life? I just been reluctant to take it like a woman. Do I have fantasies inside me they're like ingrown hairs? You know what an ingrown hair is? I have fantasies like that. The ingrown hairs, they couldn't go nowhere in life, and they just sat inside me and just caused me a lot of irritation and anxiety and all that other stuff. And because I had these fantasies that were just stuck and couldn't be realized. Fantasies just want to be realized. They're like little flowers. Myrtle. Is that what fantasies are like? The little flowers that just sprout up from the ground. I say that's all I wanted to do. I just wanted to sprout up from the ground. I wanted to see the light of day. I wanted to grow towards the light and all that stuff. Is that what fantasies are supposed to do, Myrtle? I don't know. Here comes the geese. Geese, geese, geese. Goose, goose, goose. I thought we had a partitioner. A parishioner. It's about 8 o'clock in the morning right now, and I think I may go to church at 11. I gotta be to work at 1. So if I go to church at 11, you think I can make it to work by 1? I haven't been to this church yet. You know why I'm going? Because they got a big LGBT flag up in front of their church. They hang it on the church like some people hang their American flag. They got the LGBT flag. LGBT should just form their own nation. They should call it the LGBT nation. It should have a president. You know who the president should be? I ain't gonna say it. I ain't gonna say it. But in a certain way, every one of my episodes is church. It is church in a way. Someone told me once I should be a preacher. A friend of mine said I should be a preacher. She and I used to talk. We used to sit and talk about philosophical and religious stuff. No, that's not what she said. I took her to the church, an LGBT church in Atlanta, and we walked in, and she hung out for a while. She listened to the preacher talk his sermon, and then when it was all done, she said to me, "You should be the preacher of that church." She said everybody in there knows it too. Everybody there looks at you and says, that fella right there should be the preacher of our church. I said, I can't be a preacher. I said, because I'm too much in favor of spontaneity. Like, I don't like rehearsals. I don't like recitals. I don't want to just get up on a pulpit and read something from a script. I like, if I was to do it, I would like to just get up there and talk and just channel the spirits of the dead, kind of like I am right now. Is that what I'm doing anyways? Am I even channeling the spirits of the dead? Am I a bona fide witch or not? Someone please help me with the answer to that. I don't know what qualifies me as a witch, and what, maybe I'm just a pretender, you know? But I guess being a witch is about like being a preacher, right? You don't have to be certified to be a preacher, do you? You can just get up on a soapbox and preach. Just get up on a soapbox and preach, and that makes you a preacher. So I guess invoking the spirits of the dead, is invoking even the right word? Is that what I'm doing? I don't even know if it's the right word. The word I'm looking for is to speak on behalf of somebody. I'm speaking on behalf of the dead. They're telling me what to say. Because what they want is they want to teach us their lesson. They say, we have a lesson to teach you, and it's because we're dead. That's the only reason we have that lesson, is because we're dead. I don't know if that's true. I think there's people alive who might have that lesson, but maybe it's because they died. Maybe it's like they did what Jesus said they should do. Maybe because Jesus said you should die. You got to die to be born again, right? You got to die to be born again. And so maybe there's people who died and they was born again. I don't mean like reincarnated. Like they lived 200 years ago and came back as John Smith. That's not what I'm talking about. I mean they died on the inside. Some part of them died. Call it the ego. Call it their sense of identity. Call it the mask they wear. Maybe they just shattered their mask, and that was the equivalent of death for them, because the person that was shattered was the person they thought they were their whole entire life. But then when they shattered their mask, they realized they wasn't that person. They was somebody else. The person they thought they were essentially died. Is that what Jesus wants for you? For you to shatter that mask that you wore, you started wearing when you was a child. You started wearing the mask when you was a child because you had to get along in society. You You had to get along with your parents, because if they exiled you, you would have been fucked. So you grew up learning how to act. You act a certain way. All that stuff. He was conditioned. He was groomed for society, groomed to fit in, groomed to be acceptable. And your biggest fear in all this world is to be socially unacceptable. Because your fear is that you'll be exiled. They'll say you can't fit in here. You're not one of us. And you'll be fucked. You'll be a homeless person living all on your own out in those woods out there, living all by yourself, trying to eat worms and cover yourself with a bed of pine needles and leaves. Ain't that what people fear? Is that what people fear the most, more than anything? Do they feel that more than death? What's the greatest fear in the world? What am I afraid of, Myrtle? Am I afraid of taking it like a woman? Is that my biggest fear? Or is I'm afraid of death? Or is it that I'm afraid of being exiled or even just being ridiculed and humiliated? Because that's the same thing. That's my theory anyways. Being ridiculed and humiliated is essentially the same thing as exile. That's a person's way of saying, we don't want you around. We don't have a high opinion of you. We don't value your presence. It'd be okay with us if you just took off and scrammed. You fucking little scrub. You a scrub. What is a scrub? That's something that somebody made up for a song. I don't want no scrub. Something like that. Am I preaching or am I invoking the dead? Is it the same thing? Is preaching and invoking the dead the same thing? I don't know. Invoking the dead. Because the dead want to preach, don't they? The dead are just itching. They're over there in their graves just itching to speak. They say, oh my God, I made a fucking mistake. They're in the graves, they can't even sleep because they're like, fuck, I made a mistake. Let me tell you, boy. Let me tell you about my mistake I made. Before you make it yourself, because I thought I had all the time in the world. And you know what? The time I had, I spent trying to be normal and socially acceptable. I never took off my mask once in my life. Even though God kept saying to me, I just want you to be naked. Just be naked. Take off your clothes. Take off your clothes. Take off your mask. Be naked with me. But I never could do it. That's what the dead is saying over there. They're saying I could not strip in front of the Lord. The Lord called me to him and said, take off your clothes. Who told you to wear clothes? Isn't that what he said to Adam and Eve? Who told you to wear clothes? No, he said, who told you were naked? But I like it better. My way. It should say, who told you to wear clothes? Who told you to cover yourself? I think I might make a living offering these. See all these people walking around? They seem to come out of nowhere. I might start making a living offering them a ride. You think that guy right there would pay me $5 for a ride? You can probably walk from those apartments way down there. Not that far, maybe not even a quarter mile. Over here to the QT to get himself a beer. It's too hot to be walking and drinking beer. So, unless he's going back inside. But it's Sunday. I'm at 14 minutes. I gotta pay attention to my time because otherwise I'll end up ruining my own sermon because it'll be cut in half and I'm not gonna post both of my halves. Is that what I'm here for? Am I here just to preach? Is that really my ultimate motive? Did I always just want to be a spontaneous preacher? A spontaneous preacher. Is that all I ever really wanted? And is that because I read that in the Bible somewhere and I just forgot about it? Did I just forget that Jesus said something like, do not worry about what you will say? Because it is the Lord who speaks through you. Something like that. He said he was basically saying you should be spontaneous when you talk. Don't worry about what you say because it's God who's talking through you. Do you believe that? Do you believe that? There's a guy. I gave that guy a ride just yesterday. That guy got out of his car. That's the guy. He paid me $5 yesterday to give him a ride to a motel. At first, I was sketchy. I mean, what? He seemed sketchy. That's not what I meant. I'm not sure what I meant. I said, I don't know if I should give this guy a ride. See how I got out of that car? He got out of that car all mad, hyperventilating. And I'm like, yeah. He was super polite with me. Talked to me the whole way. Asked me where I was from. Talked to me about my bus. Had no issue. Give me the $5. He gave it to me as soon as he got in the car. He gave me the $5. When I started digging for it anyways, it took him like 5 minutes to get it. Because he had so much shit in his pockets. What is that noise? Is that cicadas? I don't know. I still don't know what those insects are that make that noise. It's the most hypnotizing noise. If you just sit out here and listen to it, it'll hypnotize you. But I don't know. I don't know if I'm preaching. I don't know if I'm just, you know, if this is my, if I'm still refusing to strip in front of the Lord saying, strip in front of me, take off all your clothes and let me wash you clean. Let me wash you. Let me put my hands on your body and just wash you down. Because you have been walking around in these stinking fucking clothes for all your entire life. At least since you was 4 years old, at least. You may have been born pure. You may have come out of the vagina pure. But shortly after that, you got all the your mama put a diaper on you, and that was pretty much the end of the story. It's just been stinky clothes for goddamn 42 years. You've been wearing these stinking fucking clothes. So take them off for me and let me give you a bath. Is that what the Lord is saying to me? Is that what the dead are saying to me? Is that what they want to say? Take off your clothes. Stop being afraid. Stop being afraid you're going to be rejected by society if you take off your clothes. Society don't want to see you naked. They don't want to see you naked. They want to see you wearing your clothes. Because they're wearing their clothes too. Stinking fucking clothes. How do you know if a man wears stinking fucking clothes? If he got to get drunk to have a good time, that's a sign right there. It's a sign that a man is wearing stinking fucking clothes if he got to be drunk to have a good time. Maybe what other kind of signs? Well, I don't want to sound too judgmental, so I think I might just stop there. Because if I gave you every reason I thought was a sign, I mean, just like look at the way these people are dressed here. These people are dressed in the most normal, just unattractive, unattention grabbing way you can possibly imagine. It's like they're saying to the world, I don't want people come over here and talking to me. I just want to be left alone. Just see me as like I'm nothing out of the ordinary. I'm nothing out of the ordinary. I don't want you talking to me. I'm here just to do my business. Let me in and let me out. You know, because if they was naked, then they would express themselves. And by expressing themselves, they would call attention to themselves, and people might want to talk to them. You know. That's kind of how it goes. It's like, don't look at me. Just don't look at me. Don't look at me. That's where they dress. That's what it says to the world. Don't look at me. I don't want you looking at me. You can look at my face. That's all right. Especially if you think I'm pretty. If you think I'm pretty, you can look at my face, but don't look at me. Don't look at me. Look at my face. Look at this shirt I bought at Rose's. It's got a brand name on it, and I don't even know what the brand name is. I didn't even look at it when I bought it. I was just happy it had a brand name on it. This guy was wearing the same clothes he was yesterday too when I gave him a ride. Which is not a criticism, because I'm wearing the same clothes yesterday I was yesterday when I gave him a ride. So, it ain't no biggie. Here comes the cops. The cops are coming to arrest me. Because I've been sitting here in this parking lot every day in the same goddamn spot making videos. Now they come over here to see what's going on. Why is this witch out here sitting around? See, he's on his computer. He just drove by. I swear he was on his laptop computer. That's a criticism, fake criticism. He wasn't. They did have their computers there. Because when they're just hanging out, sometimes they like to sit and get on the internet, check through their Facebook screen. Because you know criminals use Facebook, and they talk about Facebook and on Facebook what they're doing. They say, "I'm going to rob a bank," and they catch people that way. Would you believe that? So I don't know. I see this guy asked me for a ride yesterday. He's driving the same van I took him on a ride in. I thought he was going to back up to talk to me. I'm like, I don't want to have to talk while I'm in the middle of making a video. See that cop? See what he just did? He came in here and drove a circle. What's he looking for? He just took off and left. I got 6 minutes, Myrtle. Another day. Another day. Each one of these videos, I'm going to do one per day. Because I feel like there's something symbolic about doing that. If I just sat here and made like 5 episodes in a row, I feel like it would almost be antithetical to the message. Antithetical to the message. Because that is one of the things the dead tell us, right? Our time is going to come. Our time is going to come. I got 6 minutes. 5 minutes. I got 5 minutes now, Myrtle. What am I going to do with the time I have left? I don't get to repeat until tomorrow. That's my rule I made for myself. It just feels right. It feels almost like God has consecrated that decision. Because it just feels right. It just feels like the right thing to do. Come here once a day, 8 o'clock in the morning, maybe 9 o'clock in the morning, to sit here and make an episode of the life of the QuikTrip parking lot witch. Maybe I'll invoke the dead. Maybe they ain't got nothing to say. Maybe there ain't nothing to say at all. Maybe I just feel the need to talk. Maybe there ain't nothing really to say. Maybe it's all just a waste of wind. A waste of wind. Is there such a thing as a waste of wind? Is the wind all a waste? Is wind wasteful? Does it seem weird to say that the wind is not wasteful? But doesn't that mean that it's almost to say like the wind has a purpose? Does the wind have purpose? Is the purpose of the wind come over here and blow my hair when it gets hot? Is that what the purpose of the wind is? I don't know. I don't know. But I do actually, I think I like this better than being a preacher at a church. Maybe one day I will preach at a church. The question right now is, would I prepare a sermon, or would I do what I'm doing right now? Just get up there and just talk. Spontaneously, just let it out. Because you know what? What is this, episode 4? I did make episode 2.5, so I guess this would be, well no, actually it was 3.5, but I guess this would be episode 4. And have you ever noticed that I make these and I'm never at a loss for words? It's like I just open the faucet and it just comes out. Does that mean something? I like it that way. That's how I like it though. I like just opening the faucet and just let it out. Could I do that in front of 100 people? If I got up on the pulpit in front of 100 people, could I just open the faucet and just let it out? Just let it out. Let it out. Would that inspire them? Would they then go out into the world and say, I don't need all this. I don't need all these clothes. Look, this ignorant person got up on the stage without being prepared. Look how ignorant he is. Didn't bring a note or nothing. Just got up there and just started talking. But did a wonderful job of it. Maybe the message is, I don't need any clothes. I don't need to be practiced and polished and perfect. I can just be naked. I can just be naked and express myself. Is that what God wants? People to be naked and express themselves the way they truly are. Look at me for who I truly am. Look at me for who I truly am. Is that un-American? Is it un-American to be naked? Is that not an American value? Do Americans value not being naked and saying, "Don't look at who I truly am. Look at who I want you to think I am." Is that the American way? Is that the American dream? Look at me, I'm a millionaire. Is that the American dream? Let me show you who I am. I am a millionaire. That's what I am. That is my identity. I identify as a millionaire, and I have proof. I got proof. I have $1 million. Just look at my bank account. Look at my car I drive. That's the American dream. To present yourself to the world as a millionaire. But is that just a pair of stinky clothes? Does God look at that and say that's just a pair of stinky clothes, really? Is that why Jesus in the Bible is a homeless bum? Like this guy riding around on his bicycle? If Jesus lived today, would he ride to Jerusalem on a bicycle? I think maybe he would. Because he might say, just take off your stinking fucking clothes. You worked all your life to be a millionaire, wasted your life to be a millionaire, working. And all your work will come to naught. Because as soon as you die, it's gonna evaporate like a puddle of rain. That's when the sun comes out.